Hello, Esper Communication Tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VI Brave New World with me, BlueAnkylo. Last episode, we beat up Kefka and all of his forces that were trying to steal an Esper. Today, we're gonna introduce Terra to the Esper, and for the second time. Well, it's been frozen for 1,000 years. Surely it couldn't have survived. But then again, whatever happened to old Biggs and Wedge, hey? I mean, the last time she saw this thing, something happened, and everyone around her died. Now you're on a cliff top. Alright, well, Gao's hanging on. He's fine. Bye. One hand upside down. So, what is the deal? Beware the bird lizard. Now, one could say that the Esper does exactly what she asks here. But no one else is going to learn about that for a while. Oh. Got naked? No, it's not quite that simple. Hair got bigger. Super Saiyan Terra. Well, she can fly now, by the way. And she's out of here. Blasting off? No, not quite. Well, goodbye, party member. Oh, no, there she is. You get to follow her. It's cool. I mean, this is Terra's story anyway, right? Goodbye all the other party members, for sure. So it's pretty cool. You know, just fly around the world. No big deal. Wonder if she's going to head back to Narsh. It appears she didn't come back. But how would anyone know what an Esper looks like if they've been gone for 1,000 years? And that one on the mountain was much larger than a girl size. Yeah. Screaming across the sky, even. Well, Locke, you know, he's got this thing with his promises to girls. Yeah, but we kicked their general's butt, right? Poor Bannon. Interesting. Alright, so difficult decisions here. A lot of people, from what I understand, like to bring Gao along for this section of the game because some of his rages are really strong early on. I don't like Gao very much, and I'm not as impressed by his rages as other people. I feel like Edgar you have to bring because his tools are really strong, and if you're bringing Edgar, you should really bring along Sabin. And then, you kind of should have a healer, so, like, Celeste is kind of a no-brainer, because she can cast Cure. And then, of the other ones, like, in the original game, Cyan is very underpowered because of his slow-charging, sword tech, Bushido stuff. Probably the strongest is a well-learned gal with lots of rages. But I'm going to bring Locke for reasons, and we'll just go with this party for now. Cyan was a toss-up, though. I almost thought about bringing him, but I feel like Edgar and Sabin both have a lot more versatility, and then Locke and Celeste have a reason to go along for now. So this is also a update in the mod. I don't believe Arvis was able to do this in the original game. In fact, I don't think they even called him Arvis. Anyway, this is the unequip option that shows up later in the game normally. So we can now unequip people that are not in the group. Yeah, so you can equip... You can equip stuff in both hands like that. I didn't think you'd be able... I wonder if you can still equip 2 swords, like actual proper sized swords for Locke. I'm just curious about what the limitations are of his dual wielding. Anyway, technically you could go Celeste, sword, and boomerang as well. Much more generous with dual wielding in this mod. Alright, so if you want to change your party members, you can talk to these two and it's fine, nothing to worry about. Let's go have a look at Narsh. So while we're up here, this is a fun looking place. Are you here to steal this guy's stuff too? Yes, actually. Everybody comes to this house to steal stuff. Pretty good amount of tinctures though, wow. Unfortunately, we can't steal everything. I believe that's all that's in here. Nothing hiding in one of the corners. This room does have a secret later, but I think that's all. I may have missed 1 or 2 things in the game, but... So anyway, that gives us a good amount of GP and some spare tinctures for emergencies for Celeste's MP. Now, the mod has made one large change to the residents of Narsh. You're about to see. Yeah, well, I mean, it's an icy land that tries to stay neutral. I guess that's fine. If you haven't got it yet, Narsh is Canada, by the way. Don't be such a baby, eh? Icy country. Yeah. And we use metric, of course. Yeah, lots of little jokes. It's fine. I don't mind too much. Sorry, friend. Pink thing flew over the mountains? Okay. Only Eastern Canadians will accept that. Okay, I think that's most of the people you can talk to. Oh, snap. But yeah, you can head back up there, go through the mines, go to the Esper again, but I don't believe there's anything you can do up there right now. So let's have a look at, let's do a little bit of shopping quick. General store. None of this looks new. It might be a good idea to bring a few more of these in the near future. So let's at least have like 15 of them. Just in case. If you get turned into zombie mode, you attack your allies like you were confused. So it's pretty serious status affliction. And I don't believe a remedy will cure it. Iron armor, I think I've explained before, I don't actually think is very good. Because it lowers your speed in this mod, Brave New World. So, you know, iron armor, I give it a out of 10. And that just loops back up here, okay. Well, hopefully the weapon or relic shop are a little bit better. One of these guys talks about, yeah, please don't steal the treasures in my house, guy. But it's okay if you do. I guess there's an inn too. I always forget there's an inn here. This is probably my least visited inn in the entire game. Because you always just rest up either at... Well, I usually heal up quicker at the tutorial village. Or you rest automatically at Arvis's house. All the poutine and maple syrup you can eat. As long as you get them together. I just wasted 200 GP to hear that. Alright, team, let's see. I have high hopes for the weapon shop. Now, it is probably a good idea to save some money at this point in the game. Like, I know I've got 26,000. You probably don't want to blow it all here. So, you can buy butterflies. Just buy some butterflies. Double damage to humans isn't bad. Buy some more iron cutlasses, which are an upgrade. Buy one of them. The expensive ones are kind of niche. The Morningstar is a really expensive weapon that does... It actually has a chance, I think, to instant kill undead. Which is cool. I think you lose your ability to use Runic with Celeste if you equip these types of weapons. So I'm not a huge fan of it. It's also really expensive. And then Full Moon is your... essentially double damage against flyers, and you can use from the back row at full damage. I might say this is better for Celeste, because if you can put her in the back row for magic, and she can still attack at normal damage, but I don't know. I don't know if it's worth that much. Like, GP is kind of valuable early on. Yes, you can't go dual-wielding big swords. You have to go one knife or other weapon with a big sword. But one of Celeste's main uses is being able to use the Runic ability, and if you equip her with a boomerang or a, which we have one of anyway, if you equip her with the boomerang or the flail thing, whatever it's called, Morningstar, she will lose her ability to use the Runic, to steal MP from enemies. I think we'll go with the Silk Robe, though. And I think I'm going to find a slightly lighter... Well, almost wouldn't mind dual wielding. Just drop the evasion just to do more damage. I think you can... I'm actually not even 100% sure. I expect you can still use Runic when you're dual wielding. She gets speed. She loses some defensive capabilities. Huh. I actually hadn't thought of doing that with Celeste. I guess we'll see what happens. She'll put Sabin in the front... Locke's in the front. Edgar could go either way. It's no big deal. No better weapons for him yet. Well, actually, the Green Beret is definitely better. Actually, well, I was going to say Sabin gets more use out of stamina, but he can wear headbands and stuff anyway, so... Yeah, Green Beret's fine. I really don't know if 15 defense is worth losing 3 speed. It doesn't seem like it to me. Karate Gis. We'll get some better gear. It's fine, don't worry about it. Anyway, my point is that the shop here... None of this is all that impressive. We'll find more weapon shops and armor shops before too much longer. Relics, though. Maybe relics will be awesome. Alright, Barrier Cube is shell when you're dying, whoop-de-boo. Safety Cube is safe when you're dying. I don't like those type of effects. They only take effect when you're at, I believe, 1/8 HP or something like that. So you're already basically dead, and in this mod especially, enemies that are going to kill you are going to do 200 damage when you've got 300 HP. So getting down to 50 HP remaining, and then getting a 1/3 damage reduction is not going to make any difference. Like, the numbers just don't matter. But it might be worth grabbing some of these. So we've got 4 jewel rings already, and 3 fairy rings. I'm going to buy 1 more of those, so I have enough to equip the entire party with jewel and fairy if I want. So if we're going to fight enemies that cast Muddle or Berserk, we can protect the whole party, and similarly blind and poison. Because, as we've seen, certain enemies, random encounters, bosses, can wipe you out. If you let the whole party get muddled or berserked, as you'd expect. And then this is just the Elder's house. You can steal his elixir. I think that's it. Alright, I'm pretty sure that's it for Narsh. So we're going to head down towards Figaro. And I will explain one other little note that's kind of neat that I expect not everybody knows about. So at this point in the game, you're supposed to go to Figaro Castle and travel to Cohingland, which is the western side of the continent, across the mountains. If you have Gal, or you don't even need Gal specifically, but let's say you want to take Gal back to the Veldt and learn a bunch of rages, because, you know, you didn't learn enough and you're worried. Or you've fought some more enemies and you figure you've unlocked some more cool stuff. You actually can backtrack the entire route Terra and then Sabin took and go back to the Veldt. You go through the South Figaro Cave, past South Figaro, through Mount Colts, to the Returner's Hideout, down the river. You end up where Sabin got washed ashore. From that point, you could go to Nikia and take a boat back to South Figaro, or you can travel all the way past Doma, the Phantom Forest, drop down the waterfall, land in the Veldt, and suddenly Gao is learning all kinds of cool rages again. Now, in Brave New World, Gao can learn rages not in the Veldt, so you don't have to, although the Veldt is the best place to guarantee those kind of encounters. Like rage learnable encounters. Out here in the real world, not Australia, you fight, you know, the enemies aren't guaranteed to teach you rages. But yeah, that's just a nifty little thing. So if you end up in the Veldt, you still have to take the Serpent's Trench back, so you can bring 4 people, not including Sabin, and they still manage to somehow survive the underwater trip. I think we actually missed one chest in the Serpent's Trench, if I can speak. I will go back to it later on for a different reason, and I'll try to pick up the chest then, just to show it off. For instance, I'm pretty sure those Antlions, we didn't have a rage for Gal. If we'd brought him along, he could have jumped there, leaped. Okay. There, we had a little talk on the way to Figaro. Welcome back. Now, some of you may have mentioned, I know a couple people were like, Blue, you wasted all that money by buying, I can't even see them here, buying Edgar's tools when Edgar was not around. Well, it's because the Bioblaster was worth it, guys. But, now that Edgar's here, I can show you another thing. Also, because Sabin is here, he goes running off on his own, which is fun. So we're going to get a bit of custom information here because we got Sabin. So first off, I believe they should be selling new tools. And because Edgar's at the front, you're supposed to get 50% off. In Brave New World, you don't. They've cut off that exploit. So, sorry guys, even if you'd waited, you would not have saved that 50%. But it's worth buying that Bioblaster the first time through anyway, because it's so strong. And if you're playing the vanilla, Noise Blaster deals damage, I think, so it's pretty good too. Alright, well the drill is the new one. I'm not sure it's worth that much money, though. Like, I got stuff to spend money on, and that's not that great. Like the drill's cool, but it only does full damage if you're in the front row. And, if you're going Dragoon Edgar, I believe the jump attack will do more damage than the drill attack. Especially with a lance equipped, so I don't know if that's worth it. We'll buy it later, it's just right now money's going to be pretty tight. Okay, stuff might be cheap. No, dried meat was always 50 bucks, right? It's hard for me to tell exactly what's changed prices because the original Final Fantasy VI game had different prices than Brave New World, so. But I don't think he actually gets any discounts here. Alright, so quick little visit around Figaro Castle. Let's go find out what happened to Sabin. He ran off somewhere. Also, this guy used to like spears. Oh good, he tells you where the girl in flame went. I expect most of the people here are just going to repeat the same old dialogue from last time. So let's head over to where we'll actually find Sabin. Actually, you know what might be funny? Remember the girl that gave Terra some advice about Edgar? This one? Oh, hi Edgar. Should really be careful about talking about your boss, you know. Just watch it. Go to bed! So they don't actually let you pass there until you have a sleep. They force you into it. You think he misses the throne? I think he misses his parents. So yeah, Sabin took this one pretty rough. Pretty hard. Dad seemed fine. All of a sudden was dead. Not even all that old, technically, if I remember the way the lore goes. Seems quite plausible given what we know now in the future. What's he supposed to do? What's he supposed to do, guys? So I assume when the two of them were growing up as twins, you know, being pretty close and having parents, they had all kinds of dreams of exploring the world and probably Edgar out inventing stuff and Sabin, I don't know what his dreams were before he became a karate kid, but seemed like he just wanted to go explore, really. Go travel the world. But they were born into responsibility. One can go, but one has to stay. Pretty harsh. But they couldn't just leave Figaro to itself, to its own. You know, those evil chancellors would take over in no time. "10 years. So I believe that gives you a bit of a age for these two. I think they were supposed to be like mid-teens when their parents died. You know, 15, 16 kind of age. They're in their mid-20s by now pretty easily. Some of the older-ish of the cast. It seems like Edgar did a pretty good job. Held the castle, held the kingdom together, maybe longer than most people could have against the Empire. One thing I don't think the game did as well as it could have is it didn't convey the amount of time that passed for Edgar. So the first time you're looking after Sabin, it seemed like maybe they're just reunited after a few months, but it's been 10 years, right? Like, they really have some catching up to do, which is why I had to bring the two of them to this castle. Alright, and other than that, I don't believe there's too much more to explore around here in Figaro. But people will talk about that event now that you've now that you guys have seen it along with me. Well, the Empire's tried to sack Figaro, unsuccessfully so far. Unfortunately, the township hasn't done so well. It's odd that Edgar doesn't ever seem to notice, or doesn't seem to care much, that South Figaro keeps getting pillaged and ransacked. Alright, let's get out of here. So what's the key feature of Figaro Castle? Well, if you head down this direction. Well, actually, you know, I never really showed you guys the prison. Now that we're the king, we can come in here. The real threat. This guy here. This guy looks different, right? Doesn't look like your typical bandit. Come here, Wolfman. Need to talk to you. I need to talk to you. Alright. Lone Wolf, the treasure hunter. Alright, we'll keep that name in the top of your mind. You can see Edgar right now. But he's not going to do anything. Alright, so I showed you the prison. Now let's show you the key feature of the castle. Oh, if you want, by the way, if you wanted to go to the left down the stairs, the old man won't let you. To Cohinglin. It's pretty cool. Bet you your castle doesn't go underground and travel across the mountain. Pretty good feat of engineering, honestly. Ever tried to move a city? It's not easy. Alright, welcome to Cohinglin. Be careful on this side of the mountain range. The enemies are much stronger. I'm going to put a save down because you could definitely die here, especially in Brave New World. Oh, good, in the desert. Alright, just wasps, nothing to worry about. Sure, there's a lot, but this should be okay. Yeah, that's a good start. I could really use some Bioblaster or something here. Pretty good, you know, we've had a lot of actions in the game so far. Alright, I'm hoping that Bioblaster blasts them away. I suppose Ice might have been a reasonable choice as well. There's just too many of them and they're too fast. That's not enough damage. Now, I was hoping to get a fire dance off with Sabin, but not gonna happen. Also, there's just too many attacks. It really drags down the fight. So one thing to note, if you didn't know, Berserk does increase your physical damage output by like 50%. So you lose control, but you do deal a lot more damage. So, at least we've got that going for us. And it'll automatically use jump now. Alright. A couple level ups won't hurt, and that's a lot of GP there. Alright, no problems yet. Oh, come on, let me get to the city. We're not dead yet, vultures. Wonder if you've ever suplexed a vulture, though. Seems like the right way to do it. That'll be the 50% HP thing, which is a real pain in the neck. As you get stronger, that does more and more damage. So, the ranged weapon that does the boomerang effect, the bonus damage versus large or flying enemies, that is to say. There's a lot of birds around and flying enemies, wasps and birds in this area, so it's not a bad idea to bring that. Anyway, let's check out Cohinglin here in today's episode. We got enough time. Apparently we're pretty close to the glowing creature. To Jidur. Well, that'll have to be our next destination. So, there's some reasons to bring Locke here. So we'll let him take the lead. He might know this town. Oh, we'll have to go visit his brother later. And, I have a feeling Terra destroyed this guy's house. So, sorry about that. We don't know who she is. Never heard of her before. Look, lady. And this is a different house. This house has been deserted for years. Probably treasure. Probably hunting it. I hear this what he does. Look, it's treasure in the mountain. Well, not good. And of course he can jump that far and he'll take no injury, don't worry. But Rachel, well, she wasn't a treasure hunter. So when she fell off the cliff, she hit her head. You've done enough talking, Locke. Talked her into that mess, I'm sure. The moral of the story is don't take your girlfriend with you when you're spelunking. And of course, right before she died, he was gone. So that's the majority of Locke's backstory. At least we get an elixir out of the deal. I like Sabin and Locke's more, or Sabin and Edgar's more, but Locke's is a good story. So, more weapon options here. The Poison Claw will do poison damage. It's also a bit stronger than the Spirit Claw. So if you're fighting undead enemies, like on the Phantom Train, the Spirit Claw is probably the way to go. But if you're fighting humanoids, this is the way to go. And I would like 2 of those. So you could go 1 of each. And that way you do poison damage and holy damage. But for now, we'll just go double poison. And Mithril is just lame at this point. Might as well just sell them. There we go. That's the Targe I was looking for. Now, it's a little bit lower defense than the Iron Shield, but it will be... It doesn't... I don't think it affects your speed. I want a couple of those. Karate Gis, we got lots. Headbands are also pretty good. And plumed hats are not that impressive. The reason I like the headbands is they give lots of additional stats. Well, at least something over a bandana. Alright, I guess that's it for that. Well, hairband is not the same as a headband, but girls can equip those. So the green cherry cures Berserk. Red Bull heals a little bit more HP. Might need some. If you didn't bring Celeste, I would recommend a bunch of Red Bulls. But as long as you bring Celeste, you should be okay for curing. A few screws loose, eh? Welcome to another mystery house. This is another reason to bring Locke. Kahaha! So, yeah. Guess who that is? Preserved her corpse. Forever. Because Locke won't let her go. So I assume this does not make Locke very many friends in the surrounding area. This is also why I brought Celeste. So, curious little details, you know. Read into it as you will. One thing you might have noticed is at the back of this house, there was a separate door. Which you can steal some holy water from. It used to have a green beret or hat of some sort in it. Unfortunately, Brave New World nerfs all the secret treasure chests, which is kind of annoying. Well, only one place left to check out. And that music should be setting off some alarms. Izzy! Apparently, these guys are really impressed with the ninja. Now, there is something we can do with Shadow, but I'll have to do a little side trip for that to work out. So I'm gonna put a cut in the episode here, or, well, I'm gonna end the episode here, that is to say. And next episode, I'll meet you guys back at Jador with a slight change to the roster. You'll see. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed, and have a great day.